Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodaloo 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 doo. Subscribe. Okay, let's do a random ranking. We're gonna go behind me to this shelf, this movie collection, and then pick out 3 movies at random with my eyes closed. Um, and now that my shelf is restocked, I feel like it is a little easier to do it with my eyes closed because a long time, I'm really tangenting here, I wasn't doing that. I was just going for it. But doing this, I could just feel around. It's perfect. So I'm going to pick 3 movies. Then we are going to rank them from most favorite to least favorite. And I say we because I'll be doing it here in the video, but if you would like to participate as well in the comments below, please do so. And base it on whatever criteria you prefer. You know, whatever these movies spark up for you, base your ranking on that. So, I'm going to pick from over here, shutting those eyes. One of the rules that I have for random rankings is that I have to have seen the movie. So if I haven't seen the film, I have to replace it with a different movie. So let's make sure I've seen all these movies. Oh yeah! Okay. You know, and I think maybe... Again, I've restocked behind me because my shelf was getting very thin because I didn't want any repeats. But I'm wondering if I have ranked all of these films before. I'm thinking I have. So you might, but never together. So that's kind of cool. All right. First, we have X-Men Origins Wolverine. This is probably the worst X-Men film ever made. They have a lot of misses, though. Like, I didn't like Dark Phoenix. I thought that one was pretty bad. I thought Apocalypse was pretty bad. What else? 3, I go back and forth on. Sometimes I don't like 3. Sometimes I think, well, it's not good, but it has some of the best emotional moments. So I don't really know what to do with that. But yeah, this one here is a miss. I don't like Gambit at all. Taylor Kitsch, is that his name? Was awful. What did they do to Deadpool? That was strange, but it's also cool that he continued to play Deadpool in sort of a in and out universe. I like Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth. I thought he was good. I would have liked to have seen more of him. I mean, maybe they can do that. Well, I don't know if he'd want to do it now at his age. Maybe. I mean, if he could, I'm all for it. Who else is there? What else? So, yeah, I liked the opening credits. That was really cool. But at the same time, I would have loved to have gotten more movies. And I know Hugh Jackman likes to do a variety of different things, but and he really committed to Wolverine, but if he could have committed even further, all of those wars that we saw him fighting in the opening montage here, I think it would have been great if we could have gotten more Wolverine and Sabretooth movies, but like war films where they are in those wars, in those battles, and that's what they are. It's just we're watching a war movie, war genre film that happened to have 2 mutants in it. I think that would have been amazing, but instead it's just skipped over and done very well in a montage for this movie. But I would have loved to have seen them pluck from that montage and create full films based on those wars that we saw them in. That would have been so cool. But yeah, bad movie. Next, we have Starsky and Hutch, based off of the Starsky and Hutch television show. So my first car was actually one of these. My first car was a Gran Torino, but mine was a different year, and I can never remember which year this one is and which year mine was. I always screw that up, so I'm not even going to attempt it here so that I don't give wrong information. But look up what year this car is, and then mine was one of the adjacent ones, either before it or after it, I can't remember. But mine was similar to this color. This is more of a red, and mine was a little bit more orangey red. Maybe like his jacket right there, where it gets kind of red. And mine did not have the like racing stripe or whatever you would call that stripe decoration. Cool thing about it was also my dad's first car, not the one that I had, but my dad also had a Gran Torino. His was green, and I think his was also, maybe his was the same year as mine. I can't remember, but his was green, and I remember he told me he sold it like the year I was born, and then the guy who bought it like wrecked it that same year, and he was just like, why didn't I keep that thing? But you know, this movie's kind of funny. Like, looking back on it, I think it's weird that it exists, because it almost seems like a waste of time movie for these guys. Like, I don't know, they make a lot of good original content. What are you doing wasting your time on a television show remake, especially like when you think of like the Brady Bunch movie or the Beverly Hillbillies movie? Like, I like all those. And those are kind of heavy parodies, where this is a subtle parody. I don't think it goes as heavy. It's more just like a comedy version, like dips into comedy pretty heavy. But, you know, I like it, and it's cool because my dad loved this show, and his first car was a Trino, my first car was a Trino, and he showed me this show, he introduced me to it, and yeah, that's a Trino right there. So I have a lot of cool connections to it, so I still appreciate it. And then we have Kick-Ass 2, which I think is a pretty bad movie. This, I felt, it felt so choppy, not cohesive. It felt like nobody was on the same set. Everybody was working different days. It just felt like nobody was together on this. And it was just, like, so poorly pieced together. I don't know. There was nothing cohesive about it. I just felt like I was watching... this is probably how movies are made. I mean, I know it's how movies are made, but it was like, you know, it was like schedules didn't align or something like that. It was like the actors' schedules didn't align, so we weren't seeing them together. We weren't seeing like the right kind of camaraderie that I was expecting out of this. Jim Carrey, you know, was cool, but I wanted more from him, more from his character. Just, I guess this is more of a me thing, I guess, because what I expected out of him and from him, his character, I wasn't getting. So I guess that's me. You know, he's playing the character as it was written, so, you know, I guess they can't tailor it to what I was dreaming up in my head, but I don't know, that didn't match what I wanted. And then I thought Mother Russia was cool. That was probably, I don't know, my favorite part, all the Mother Russia stuff. But I love the first movie. I think the first movie is fantastic and great, and I have so much fun with it. But this one is hugely disappointing. So, yeah. But how do we rank these? This is weird. Because it's not like these are good. The worst X-Men movie. I don't like this movie. And then this is just kind of like a film. But all my attachment to it is like not the movie itself, which is kind of weird. It's like more my car, my dad's car, and like my dad introducing me to the show. It's like that's what I care about, not so much this movie. It just feels weird to like want to put this as number one. But X-Men, I love the X-Men, and they're, you know, almost everything up here except for Batman is X-Men. Like they're my go-to. So but it's the bad movie. So what do I do? Like, do I just honor X-Men because I love X-Men? Like, those Roger Rabbit cartoon claws come out of him. I mean, this is such a bad movie. But I think I would rather watch it than these. I don't know, maybe I'd rather watch Starsky and Hutch. This is a very strange one. Starsky and Hutch got 2 thumbs up. Ebert and Roper loved it. You know what? I'm going to honor Ebert. This is going to be me honoring Ebert and my dad. It sounds like my dad's not alive, but my dad is alive. So I am going to honor the Gran Torino-ness of this film and Roger Ebert, because if he says it's good enough to have a thumbs up, I'm gonna say it's good enough to be number one here. This is very weird. This like hurts in a way for me to put an X-Men film not in the number one spot. So yeah, this is my ranking. Starsky and Hutch, X-Men Origins The Wolverine, then Kick-Ass 2. Such a disappointing film. So bad. And on that note, I guess my question is to you, have you seen these movies? And if so, what do you think of them? And if you've seen all three of them, how would you rank them? Please let me know in the comments below, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.